Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. And today, Katerina will introduce us about her country, right? Russia. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, Katerina, then could you first introduce yourself a bit? And then let's start presentation. And here comes Haruko-san as well. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, please.
Okay. So hello everyone who I don't know. So my name is Katerina and I'm Russian, but I live in France actually since 4 years. And so today I will speak about my city in Russia. So not about the whole Russia because it's so big. So I will explain a little bit of where my city is situated. And just a bit about the history and what you can visit.
Okay, thank you very much, Katerina. Okay, Katerina, could you type your city name in the chat box?
Yes. Yeah, and you can show on the map because it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting place. So Katerina, Katerina is from Russia, but actually her hometown is not in the big Russia. ね。
そうそう。
そうそうそう。だよね。あ、計完成したのよかったね。ちょっと待ってね。ああ。なんか今ね、息子がね、マインクラフトの家が完成したらしい。He made it using Minecraft. So, okay, just wait a while. Kaliningrad. Yes. Then I'm gonna search this one on... Okay, then I'm going to share the screen. Yeah, just wait a while. Okay, Kaliningrad and map. Yeah, make it smoother. But it's
so it's so it's a small part. It's a small department that is between Poland and Lithuania.
Yes, yes, yes.
So it's not in the big Russia, but in Europe.
So yeah, that is really interesting. Yeah, Russia, Russia is here. Russia, big Russia. Yeah. But her hometown is here. Actually, it's in Europe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's between Poland and Lithuania. Yeah.
So you're gonna talk about this place, right?
Yeah, right. So it became Russia after the Second World War. So in 1945, 1946. So before it was the part of Prussia. It's like Russia, but with a P. Prussia. It's like we can say that it was Germany, but it was before, so it was Prussia. And so that's why we have a lot of German architecture, German style houses that are still there because, of course, after the Second World War, a lot of architecture was destroyed or abandoned.
I see. なので、このカトリーナのこのホームタウンっていうのは、昔はロシアではなくて、プロシアって言って、プロシア。で、プロシアっていうのはなんか、まあ、ドイツに近いような国だ。So, there is no Prussia right now.
No, now it's like it was taken by Russia when after the Second World War, the countries, they're shared all that left after the war. So this part was taken by Russia.
Okay. そう。なので、第二次世界大戦1945年に、そのプロシアのパートっていうのがロシアに。分かった、ごめんね。
He's so excited.
ね、見せてあげる？大丈夫？ OK。そう。なので、そこで、もう、で、そうなった時に、その、昔のね、建築とかが取られてなくなってしまったということなんですが、OK, now let's start the picture. OK, 分かった、見るね。ちょっと待ってよ。はい、怒ってるの？じゃあ、みんなに見せてあげて、じゃあ。やだ？あ、そう。Okay, then now I'm going to start sharing the picture. So they are the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Shared me.
so because after the war, there were like a lot of building that was destroyed, but the Russian government decided to like to save some of them or to rebuild, like build like it was before, but it was a new building. So for example, what you see on the picture, it's really famous. It's like the postcard of the Kaliningrad region. It's called Fisherman Village. Fishermen, like, yeah, because it's next to the sea, so there are a lot of fishermen. And this was built after, so it's not old, but it looks like old.
で、これはもう戦争の後に建てられたものなんですけど、フィッシャーマンズビレッジって言われるやつで、で、結構建築が壊されたんだけれども、また、ね、同じような、kind of like similar buildings are constructed、ね、似たような建築がまた作られて、こんな風な街ができているというわけですね。OK。
Yeah, so as you can see behind, like, or on this picture, it's on the upside, so the same village. And behind you can see the old Russian, like Russian Soviet style buildings. And on the first, like in the big, like here next to us, you can see the fisherman village. So it's like you see the difference between the styles, the old German style and the Soviet style. So it's not that beautiful, the Soviet style.
So,
And just behind the fisherman village, you have like a mosque. The mosque, how do you call it? It's the Jewish mosque. Jewish.
そう。モスクはね、日本語でもモスクなんだよね。イスラム教の教会ですよね。そうそう。これがモスクで、これがそのドイツの建物ってことだよね。でも、このカテリーナ、じゃあこの後ろのこういう、kind of like residential buildings。これはなんかソビエトな感じ。ロシアな感じ。kind of like Russian style。Russian style,
Soviet style.
and German style。
はい。
なるほど。はい。あ、使えるとか日本語使っても大丈夫だからね、カテリーナ。
ちょっと。But because I was thinking to speak a bit in Japan, but there are a lot of words that I cannot say in Japanese because it's like really architecture, styles, etc. So then you can see like the same village on the other side. So we have a river in the center of Kaliningrad. There is a river. So we have a lot of bridges all around. So it's really beautiful. It's a touristic area.
touristic area, そう、ツアリスト、観光エリアな感じなんですね。So, this is
the hotels. There are the hotels, the restaurants. So there is no one who live there. No, it's not for people to live. It's just for tourists more.
なるほど。もし質問とかあったらいつでもしてくださいね、皆さん。ゆかさんもこんばんは。
こんばんは。
Thank you for joining. これ何かな？ Yes. So what's this?
So this actually what I see from my window from the apartment that I have in Russia. So you have few ships, like few vessels. There are the museums, so you can visit, and the huge earth style. It's also the museum. It's called Maritime Museum, Ocean Museum. Sorry. So you can visit. There are few buildings and few vessels that you can visit.
So,
and yeah.
これがミュージアムなんですね。博物館なんだ。So these vessels, these ships are not for sailing. Just for,
no.
It's just for like showing the, like.
Yeah, they were sailing before, but now there are museums, and the white one, like behind, I think they even I've heard that they filmed like some parts of the Titanic on this vessel, like small parts, like some of the fragments. Yeah.
タイタニックのパーツが入ってるの？そう、タイタニックがin this vessel。すごいね。
But not in Kaliningrad, when it was like outside.
Not in Korea?
Not in Kaliningrad, but when it was outside the Russia. When the vessel was working.
うんうんうんうんうんうん。なんで、この客船がちゃんと仕事を働いてた時に、そのタイタニックのパーツ、タイタニックのパーツが入ってた？
Like I think they took because I don't know how to say it in English, not in Japanese.
うん。
Like there are some parts of the ship that you can put on the water to investigate what is underneath, like the small cabins, you know,
うんうんうんうん。
when you put one person inside. So I think they use these ones
うん
on the Titanic to film the Titanic.
タイタニック撮るのに使われたんだ。すごいね。To film Titanic.
So salvage scene. So put out from the deep water.
うん
うん。
えー
ねえ、すごい。Gip, thank you for joining. Okay, thank you.
So this is the main square of the Kaliningrad, we can say like this.
うんうん。
So in the center, you can see like it's like kind of metal. I don't know what it represents exactly, but it's also from Soviet style. And behind you see the really Russian temple, so you can visit also. But it's working. It works. You can. So it's in the center of the city. You see the park behind, and there are some shops.
うんうんうん。So this is the Russian style. ここはロシアのスタイルなんですね。
はい、ちょっと。
ロシアの、なんて言ったっけ？ロシアの、
正教みたい
そうそうそう。ロシア正教の、でもちゃんとね、チャーチがありますよ。チャーチ、クロスがある。
な。
そして、I think this kind of tower is like symbol of Russia. なんかね、there's a like a park and in the middle there's a tower. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a medal of Soviet like yeah, you see like it's in the center there is like a medal.
うん、これね、これがメダルみたいな。うん。
Yeah, it's like what you put after what the military guys are put on them after the war if they won something, so they put the medals on them, so it's like a kind of medal, like the huge one.
I see. 戦いに勝ったらこういうの上につけるんだ。Oh. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is like it's interesting to see because on the right side you see already the fisherman village that I told you about on the right
こ
side,
ちら、ミガ
and
のビレッジで、うん。
yeah, behind you see the buildings that like Soviet style buildings that were built like maybe 40 years ago,
ほうほうほう
and then just in front, just here, a huge German, like it's really old. It was reconstructed, but like the half of it was reconstructed, and the half of it survived after the Second World War.
うーん。
So it's now it's a museum, and you have the organ.
Oh, there's an organ. So you mean that this one?
Like the musical instrument. Like,
うん、あ、オルガンだね。
the
オルガンだね。
organ.
オルガンがね。
Yeah, inside you have like the huge organ, so you can go and listen to the concerts inside.
Okay, so
And there is also a museum.
Okay, これがロシアンミュージアム。
Yeah, it's a museum, but like the building is old.
うん。
It survived, like the half of the building survived after the Second World War. So they like rebuilt the half of it
なる
to
ほ
make it
ど。
the building.
うん
And also just behind, we don't see it, but there is a sorry. There's a grave of Immanuel Kant. I don't know if you heard. It's like the philosopher, the Immanuel Kant.
イマニュエ
It's
ル
the
カント。
famous
あ、カント？
Kant, like the Immanuel, like the famous philosopher. Yeah,
カントのグレーブ。Which one is the Kant's grave?
it's in this building.
いいか
But
なんかもあ
just
るんだ。
behind, but behind, because we don't see from this side. Yeah.
I see, I see.
Because actually the entire life he was living here in Kaliningrad, but not in Kaliningrad, but in Königsberg, because before the statue was named Königsberg, so the count was living there the entire life, and he died there.
じゃあ、カントがここに住んでたわけですね。で、この今ミュージアムになってるここは、なんか戦争で半分なくなってしまったけども、また再建されてってことですね。Okay, so this is a Russian style. でこのここら辺もね。
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Thank you.
It's Soviet style. Yeah.
Soviet style. ね
So, but the temple is from the German time, so it's on the other side.
あ、そっか。そう、だからこれは、でも、ジャーン、だから、その戦争の前は、ドイツだったから、ドイツ系のところにね、支配されてたから、ドイツ系の建物だけど、でも、ハーフデストロイド、半分壊れて、また再建されて、今は、だから、it's kind of like a mixed culture.
Yeah, yeah, it's really mixed. You can see in the picture that it's mixed.
なるほど。じゃあ次いきますね。
So it's the same area, but from the other side. So you see the river, you see the bridges, you can see like the same temple and some Soviet buildings behind. And the park is big, so it's really green. In Kaliningrad, we have a lot of parks, so you can walk around.
ね、カリングラードは緑がいっぱいで、綺麗なところみたいで。お、これは。
Yeah, it's old. It's not rebuilt, so it's really old German style. They call it. It's the fort, like the old fort, like military building. When before the during the war, they were sitting behind, like the military guys. And now it's a museum. It's a amber museum, like you have a lot of amber. Amber, right? Because in Kaliningrad region, like we have a lot of production of but they find a lot of amber and they product like the bijouterie, like how do you call it? Yeah, bijouterie, jewelry with the amber. So, and you can see different jewelry with the amber in this museum. You can visit it.
I see. So amber museum. Amber, it's kind of jewelry.
Yeah, it's jewelry that you take from. You can find in the sea. But actually, like the amber, it comes from. I will tell you from what? From resin.
Yeah,
Resin.
it's like
Resin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can find the small like mochi inside. So it's like a jewelry with a mochi or something.
I see, I see. じゃあ、まあ、この建物は
The insects.
すごい面白いですね。これはドイツの時からのあったその戦争の、まあ、砦とか要塞とかに使えたものですね。で今ミュージアムになっていて、そのエンバーっていうそのジュエリー系のものが飾られていると。はい。そして、
So it's another one that left after the World War. And this is actually a bridge, like a bridge. You cannot walk there, but you see the road that pass through the bridge and you can see the cars. So it's like it works today. So you can visit.
すごい。これブリッジだったんだ。Okay.
But we don't have a lot of this left, like after the war. So the ones that are left, they really try to keep it.
I see. ということは、カテリーナ、so behind this building, there is a river.
No. That's on the other side of the city. It's nothing to do with the picture before.
このシティのこの入り口みたいな感じですね。
It's just on the. It's just in the city. It's there are some roads and then there's a bridge, old bridge. So it's next to the train station. It's not far away from the train station.
電車の駅の横になるんですね。そして、太田さん、ありがとうございます、吉田さん。 参加していただいて、私のパラグライダーの先輩です。Okay, and then this one is?
So it's interesting. It's not German style, like it's a really Soviet style, and it's interesting. There is an interesting history. It's in the center of the city, and it was built on after the World War, of course, and before there were a castle, a German castle. So it was destroyed, of course, and then they built this. I don't know how it's called. I mean, it's like it's really. It's not beautiful at all. It looks like a head of the robot.
なんかロボットの頭みたいだよねって言って。
Yeah.
なんか昔
So we
の
call
ドイ
it.
ツのね、お城があったけど、取り壊されちゃって。
So we call it a head of the robot because it like looks like. But it was when it was built, it was purpose for the Soviet government to stay there, to stay inside, to work inside, but they never worked there. It was never working, like it was abandoned from the beginning. So it was built and then abandoned at the same time. And there is still here since maybe 30 years or something like this. And they're trying, like every year, they're trying to destroy it, to build something like beautiful on this place. But it's still, but you can visit, like it's not official. You can pay to the guardian that is inside, and you can visit. But it's not official. It's like abandoned building.
なるほど。だからこれもともとそのドイツのお城を壊してこれを作ってソビエトのね政府とかが入ろうとしたけど結局すぐにアバンドンってこのもうほっとかれたみたいなかねずっと使われてない状態に残っててねロボットヘッドね。It's quite interesting.
Yeah, and you can climb. You can go upstairs. There's no.
You can go upstairs.
You can go upstairs. There is no elevator. You can go upstairs, and there is like a beautiful from the top of the building because it's really high and you can see the city.
なるほど。So you have to walk up the stairs. Elevator.
Yeah. And I didn't look for the picture from the inside. I'm sorry. Sometimes like inside you see the water, you see the trees inside because like it's abandoned since long time. And it's really like from the movies.
That's what the government wants you to think, that it's abandoned. Under the ground, you'll see the rest of the robots.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
確かにもしかしたら下にもっとロボットが眠ってるかもとかって。Okay, and これは
Yeah, this is a submarine. It's a museum. It's a part of the ocean museum that you saw before. And it's just in front of, so behind you see the small gray building. There were where I was living. So it's just in front of my window. Yeah, you can visit the submarine. It's interesting.
この潜水艦もミュージアムみたいなのに使われてると。ちなみに途中から参加した方のために、今カトリーナが紹介してくれているんですけども、カトリーナはロシア人なんですよ。ロシア人なんですけど、カリングラードって言って、もうヨーロッパの中にある、ポツンとあるロシアみたいなところに住んでいて、このロシア、その地域っていうのはもともとドイツが支配してた。プロシアって今ない国なんですけど、ドイツ系の国が支配してたから、ドイツの文化とロシアの文化が融合した感じになっているところなんですね。はい。じゃあ続きいきますね。
So this is not in the center of Kaliningrad. It's a bit like outside, but it's a hotel with a restaurant that was built. It's a new one. So as you can see, there are windows that are not like really from the old times. So they just decided to create a hotel that looks like a German building, a German castle. So, and you can visit, you can stay, you can like visit the restaurants. It's like for tourists. But it's funny. It's interesting how they did it with the windows.
いや確かに面白い窓の形ですよね。なんか戦争の後に作られた新しい建物なんだけど、なんかドイツ風にしようとして作られたと。綺麗。
So this is, yeah, it's the Coronian spit. So it's like the spit is like the part of Russia, and it's between Russia and Lithuania.
ロシアとリトアニアの間にある。これ、it's kind of like the border.
Yeah, the border in the middle. Yeah, right. And it's called Curonian Spit because it's like this, like, it's like the line, the narrow band of.
Yeah. So this is the border. So the
Yeah.
right side is Russia and the left side is Lithuania.
Yeah, this I cannot tell from which side there is Russia, from which side is Lithuania, but like it's almost the same on the both sides. But to go to Lithuania, you have to take a ferry because like it ends, then you take a ferry and then it continues from the other side.
なんで、ここからちょっと国を飛ぼうと思ったら、ちゃんとフェリーに乗っていかないといけないというわけですね。
It's national park.
ナショナルパークなんだ。へえ。
Yeah, so I think it's protected by the UNESCO.
Oh, I see. It's beautiful.
Yeah, because there are like the forest, the beaches. It's really beautiful. Not that many people
そっか。
during the summer.
え、泳げるの ?Can you swim there?
Yes, of course, but like in the summer you can. It's not that cold, but like it's maybe 20, 22, 23 degrees in the summer. So yeah, you can swim, but it's a bit cold. But depends on the person.
ね、私ちょっと冷たいけど泳げると。
Yeah, so this is in the city called Svetlogorsk, in the same region, because the Kaliningrad region we have, so there are some few cities, and this is the Svetlogorsk city. It's next to the sea, and this is the area like in the central park. There are some shops, restaurants, etc. And it is new. It's not old. It looks like old, but it was also rebuilt because actually like a lot of buildings, like it's almost was destroyed, the Kaliningrad. The German Kaliningrad was destroyed almost like 100%. That's why there are a lot of buildings that was rebuilt after.
なるほど。これはね、またビーチのところにある土地だけど、古く見えるけど新しい。もうほとんど戦争の後で 100% 近くこう壊されちゃったから、また再建されたっていうところですね。ドイツ風にね。はい。
So this is like next to the previous picture. So it's like the sea, but as you can see, there is almost no beach. So when you go there, it's more for visiting, like breathing. But if you want to stay on the beach, you have to go to another city that is next to the sea. But it's really beautiful just to visit.
なるほど。まあ、これビーチでここら辺は泳げないけど、まあ、隣のところに行けば泳げるけど、でもすごい綺麗だよということですね。へえ。
Yeah, it's also in the same city in Svetlogorsk. It's actually a part of the cure center, like when you can go for a week or 2 weeks for your health, to take to make some exercises, to some spa, massages, etc. So it's the part of the center. It's just beautiful, and with the like. And this one is old. It's sure. I can say from which year.
もういいですね。これスパとかもあるって言ってる。これがね、これが it looks like eyes 。これが目に見えるけど。
Ah, yeah.
あ、リーチだ。おっと、just wait. これ。
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the beach. Yeah. As you see on the left side, there are some metallic constructions that are left. This is the problem of Kaliningrad, like of the government as well, because they try to rebuild the things to make it better, but still there are a lot of abandoned buildings, and there are a lot of like abandoned metallic parts on the beaches, in the sea, like everywhere. So it's a bit dangerous. Like as you can see, there are children, etc. And they play with it sometimes. So you can see some abandoned houses on the beach, and like further. So it's a bit dangerous. I think it's left after the war, or also after. For example, there are some vessels that are abandoned and that stayed on the beach. So you can come and see the vessels, but it's like with all these dangerous metallic things that is going out of the vessel. So like it's nice to see, but at the same time, it's not protected. There's nothing around it.
なるほど。
So you can touch it, you can go inside.
うんうんうん。じゃあ、このビーチのね、この左側にあるこういうブロックとか、このメタルとか金属とかのやつが、このカリングラードの今の問題で、この都市っていうのが戦争の時にすごい破壊されてしまって、たくさんの廃墟とか、もう使わなくなった船とかできて、それがそのまま放置されている状態。だから見るにはいいけれども、やっぱりそこは入ったりとか、近く寄ったり危ないこともあったりとかするから、これがまだいっぱい至るところにあるの。っていうのが問題なんだよね。なるほど。
Yeah, and there are also a lot of forts. So this is again one of the forts, like military fort, that was built like long ago by the German people, and it's in the form of a star. And on the other side, you see the spit, so like this part of Russia that continues on the other side. So this is like we have Lithuania from the other side and Poland from another side. So this one is with the Poland. The first one you had with the Lithuania, the Koronian spit, it's a border with the Lithuania, and this is a border with the Poland. So you have the city called Baltisk with this star, like, and then you have a Poland and like Poland. Before you have like the Russian part, and then far away you see the Poland, and you take a ferry to go to the other side.
なるほど。じゃあ、ここはそのカリングラードのポーランド側の国境のとこですね。
Yeah,
で、
yeah,
この
far away
昔
there is a
の
Poland.
そう要塞とかも残っていると。このthis star shape, it's the kind of like fort.
Yeah.
あ、OK。これが戦争の時に使われた要塞砦とこですね。へー。
Yeah. So you have again the fortification, like the part of the wall of the fortifications. It's on the Baltic Spit, so it's on the other side, as we saw on the picture before. It's on the other side with the beach next to it. And it's funny, you don't see it in this picture, but you have a lot of cows that are there eating the grass.
Eating grass?
During the summer, there are a lot of cows that are walking around eating the grass, etc. Yeah, you don't see it here.
Okay,
But it's funny. You don't see it here yet, but they're walking around like the cows of someone else who lives next to it.
Wild cow?
The cow,
Oh,
like with the milk,
wild cow
like the cows,
wild cow.
そう。
like the animals.
牛とかがね、草を食べてる時もあるということですね。これは、そう、
It's
they like
abandoned.
to-
It's not functioning.
うーん
Like a lot of fortifications and old German buildings that are abandoned.
もう今使われてない感じですよね。
But it's free to visit
So
if you're not afraid, because it can be dangerous. Yeah.
Okay. Katerina, fortification is kind of like the place to escape, like or try to hide.
It depends from which side you're going there, I think. But
So,
fortification, it was built by the military of the country to save the city. Usually the fortification, they're all around the city, like the fort, they're all around the cities, and they are made to protect the city
なるほど。
against the armies that comes.
こういうの
For
が
example, yeah.
まあ、戦争の時にこの守ったりとか
砦みたいな。
そうそう、やっぱ使われてたところなんですよね。そして、
Yeah. This is the road. You can go downstairs. Like you can take the cabin and you can go downstairs next to the sea. It's funny because the cabins are really old. They're really old, maybe like 30 or 40 years. So sometimes I'm afraid to take it, but it's still working. It works. So you can take it and go downstairs or to climb back. If you're lazy to climb.
OK 古くてちょっと怖いけどね、動いてると。はい。おう。
Yeah. So yeah, this is next to the Baltisk, next to the sea, and this photo was taken during the Russian holiday that called just a second, I will tell you how it's called.
OK ロシアの祝日の時
It's
に、
like
うん
it's like a Navy day.
ネ
Navy
イビー
day.
で、あ、海軍の日だったんだね。うんうん。
And it's in summer, so you have a lot of military vessels
うーん
that make a parade.
なるほど。
Around
軍艦がパレードした。うんうん。
Yeah, and you can see like on the next picture, you can see there are also some
おお。
like helicopters, vessels, and they make a parade like to. It's like it's a bit festive.
うんうんうん。Yeah, and I can see rainbow here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's actually it's fun and it's strange at the same time. It's like to show us the force of military, I think.
うーん。そっか、こう
Yeah,
いう。
and a lot of people are around to see it.
なるほど。そう、軍隊の日、日本とかないですもんね。There's no military day in Japan.
Yeah, it's like I don't think it's like really good, but it's what government makes to show us the force, to show the people so they can be sure that like they're protected or that they are. Yeah, it's a bit complicated today, but like it's every year, every summer they make this Navy Day, like since maybe since 50 years, since the Second World War.
なるほど。第二次世界大戦が終わってから、ね、こういうふうにこう、なんか力を見せるように政府がしてるんですね。
Yeah. So, and this is like the beach, like because we have few beaches, few different beaches. Some of them are big, some of them are really small. This is one of the famous ones in city called Yantarni. It's really big and really long, like for a few kilometers. So in summer, it's easy to find a place.
4 kilometers beach. That's
Yeah,
nice.
like really long.
Okay, this is the end of the picture. Wow,
Yeah.
Katerina, thank you so much for sharing us so many pictures. And it is really interesting because it's so much difference between our cultures, Japanese culture, and also maybe from American culture or Argentinian as well. ちょっと感想とか、do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Haruka-san.
Thank you for nice pictures. And so you used to live near seaside.
Yes.
So
right.
so what kind of fishes do you eat normally? So you eat a lot. So different from Japanese fishes. Or do you eat raw fish? And another question is, so the water is quite deep and the building and the water place is very near and close. So are there any flood or disaster? Or in Japan, so water is sometimes dangerous. But the water is, I see the water is very near to the building. So is it, do you have any some
So regarding
flood or something?
Regarding the disasters, no, actually, like I think we had a chance that Kaliningrad is situated really like in the safe place, so we don't have we don't have any disasters. And sometimes when it rains for like few days, but it rains a lot in Kaliningrad. It's like next to the sea, and it's really humid, and it rains often. So even if it rains for week or 2 weeks, we don't have problems with a lot of water, even though we have the river next to where people live. Actually, it's strange, but
good.
It's okay.
It's good. So, and most of the time the river and sea is very calm, not so storm.
The river is okay, but the sea is not that calm. Actually, it's cold, and as there are often the wind that is really strong, a really strong wind. It's complicated to go to enjoy the sea. Like we are used to it, So even during the winter, I can go there like with a lot of like with a lot of clothes on me, yeah, protected all around. But it's really the sea is really strong, and even during the summer, if you like to go into the sea, there can be a lot of waves, so it's impossible to swim. You can just only jump on the waves. You cannot swim.
And how about the fish? Do you
And
eat
the fish,
a lot?
yeah, it's fish a lot, but it's still a problem of the Russian government, I think, because after the Soviet times, they sold a lot of ports, and they didn't help to the companies that build the new vessels to go to the sea to the fishermen companies. They didn't help at all, so there are not so many left today. And there is a problem. They take a fish, but we don't eat a lot of fish. They sell almost everything to other countries or other cities. So when I went to Japan, for example, I saw a lot of fish that I didn't even know the name of. Like I was eating something and I didn't know what is it, because I never saw it in my life. So there are some fish, of course, but not that many, and we don't like eat all this fish that they get it there. So we have to buy the fish from other countries, from other cities. Like this is really like stupid.
I see. Thank you.
そう海がね近くてね魚とかいっぱい取るけどそれをもう輸出してるから私たちはそんなに魚食べてなくってで逆に他の国からの魚食べてるなんかそれもなんかちょっと変な、ね、話ですよなんかね地産地消ができればねいいのかもしれないけど OK ではdo you have any other questions? 大丈夫かなでねじゃあ一言ずつじゃあショートリjust please give Katerina the comment about the presentation because it is really nice. And also there's some new person. So, 吉久さん。Yeah, I think most of you know that I flew in the sky yesterday, and Yoshihisa-san was my kind of like my senior, yeah, veteran. Not 3 years.
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
The paragliders. Yeah, so thank you for joining. じゃあ、簡単にじゃあ、コメント一言ずつ。その後に、I'm going to make breaking out rooms so that people can talk more. Okay? では、could you give the comments? イグナシオさん、どうでしたか How was it?
Like, I was surprised that there is a city like that. I didn't know there was like a Russian city like between European that part. And the culture is like so mixed. So it was very interesting. Also the architecture was very particular, I guess.
Yeah,
I was so surprised, like the fort that had like a star, like the form, yeah. Because like that building was more pretty than the bigger one, the road one. So why a military building is so pretty instead of like a normal one, like so yeah, definitely very interesting.
Thank you very much, Ignacio. Okay, then next name, Mami-san, please. Mami-san, you're mute. Sorry. 私が押してしまった。I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Katerina-san, thank you very much for your nice presentation and the beautiful pictures. I was very impressed, and also Ignacio-san also mentioned I did no idea about such kind of Russian. I forgot the English word, tobichi. Kind of like different places, yeah, landed of the Russian. So then but also there was so many interesting spots and buildings and things. So that it's very nice for me to know about the new another new things. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So much, Mami-san. Then, how about you, Neko-san, please?
Thank Katerina-san. Thank you for beautiful pictures. And I have a question. What is the how do you pronounce the country's name again?
So the city,
Mm.
the main city, it's called Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad.
Is that the Russian word?
It's the Russian word.
Okay.
Yes, it's Kaliningrad, and before it's called Königsberg. It was in German, I think, in Deutsch.
What does it mean?
So Königsberg, it means the mountain of the king, because it's on the hill, so it's like the hill of the king. And the head of the robot that I showed you, it was the place when the castle of the king was built. And Kaliningrad, like Grad, it's like the city, and Kalinin, it's the name of one of the military chefs that won during the war, because in Russia they liked a lot to give the name of, like, take the name of the person and give it to the city.
Oh,
So they call the city after the name of someone.
oh, I see. Oh, thank you. もうちょっと質問で終わった。
面白いですね。なんか
ね
人の名前をね、土につけるんだ。
そう
なるほど。
ねなんか everything is interesting for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, 猫さん。OK で、千春さん、please。
はい、very interesting. If Katerina hadn't told us, I would never have known. なんか知ることがなかったと思う。すごく very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. ありがとう。
ありがとう。
Thank you, 千春さん。OK で、How about you, ゆうこさん。
Thank you for sharing the nice pictures, and I never thought about that Tobichi country, so it was really nice to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, ゆうこさん。OK で、How about you, Gep?
Thank you for the presentation. It was really interesting. So growing up as an American in the 80s is, we have a very different view of Russia, I think, because they were the villains in all of our movies. So it was nice to see like real Russia. And I love the idea of there being a giant mech with the robot head just sticking above ground. And one day it's gonna rise up to defend Russia.
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah. So I think it's really cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Thank you. 結構コメント面白いね、いつもね。
actually-
その差上がってくるとかっていうから。Okay, thank you. では、
So I do have a question.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Were Americans like the villains in Russian movies in like the 80s?
We're American what?
Were we like the villains in Russian movies in the 80s?
In the 80s.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think during the history of all the movies, like
Yeah.
after the World War, between like what the movies then you see in Russia with Americans, yeah, I would not say. I think there are more like Russian bad guys in American movies
Okay.
than American bad guys in
Yeah,
Russian movies.
I'm sure of that, but I'm just curious. Thank you.
No, not that many.
Okay.
Alright, thank you very much, Gep. そしてお待たせしました。吉久さん、何かコメントお願いします。
まだそこまで英語も勉強中なので申し訳ないです。
大丈夫、全然大丈夫です。
今日も今までテニスに行ってました。
あ、テニス行って
まあ週末は空飛んで、そう、テニスを週末は空飛んで、献血は965回、ナンバーワンオブ岡山です。
そう、吉久さんね、すっごいね、面白い方でね。そう、だから週末、weekend, he flies in the
も
sky using
ポジティブ。
paraglider. And he plays tennis twice a week. And
Mhm.
he does the blood donation the most times in Okayama.
Twice a week.
Once a week. すごいね。Thank you very much, 吉久さん。OK。よし、
All positive.
そうそうそう。Alright。よし、じゃあ、ではですね、あとね、少ししか時間ないんだけど、せっかくだからね、少しだけみんながコミュニケーションもっとしたいなと思って、で、はるかさん今、たくさんクエスチョンいただいたので、ちょっとブレイキングアウトいきますね。5分だけ。5 minutes. I'm going to make 3 breaking out rooms. Then please talk more, like using English or Japanese or any other languages. OK? では、じゃあちょっと3つ作るので5分間だけいろいろお話ししてみてくださいね。では、OK。よし。では、ちょっと待ってくださいね。OK。では、じゃあ皆さん、5 minutes, just keep smiling and try to talk more. たくさん話してきてください。では、see you later. いってらっしゃい。よいしょ。
So, what I like to, maybe I should introduce myself first, I think. So, my name is Mami, and I live in Kanagawa, just close to Tokyo metropolitan area, but still close to the Mount Fuji, the highest mountain in Japan area. So I can see the Mount Fuji in some part of my town. Yeah. Also, I am working in a Japanese company, but also working as a freelance translator. Then actually, I got to know Yoshimi-san during the translators community. So it's very nice to see. So that Yoshimi-san, thank you very much for giving us such kind of a very nice opportunity.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really nice that we can meet that much people. Thanks to Yoshimi-san.
You're welcome. I'm really happy to make this place. Okay.
Yeah, I think you have like some kind of feeling to introduce the different people to each other, like to make a space when like some space when we can feel ourselves like really nice and like invited.
Yes, that's right. And kind of like it's I just like to do this one because it's quite interesting because I really like to know other cultures and other languages and many people. Yeah. Okay, and Yoshihisa-san, I can see big ball. Yoshihisa, big ball behind you.
バランスボール。
バランスボールがね。
すごい。
Yes.
Wow.
I usually use this one. I hope become fit. Yeah.
It's really nice for the back, I think, right?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you put yourself on the back.
So
Yeah.
do you exercise? Do you exercise using that balance ball usually?
It's only sit here, big balance ball. It's 腰に非常にいい。
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for back.
Like mostly.
Which subject or which subject teacher would you?
I would like to teach to kids and adults programming. Like introduction to programming.
You want to teach programming to kids?
Yeah, I hope so to be able to, but it's kind of difficult. Like it's very different from teaching to adults programming. So yeah, but I enjoy being with kids. So yeah, I hope so.
So you like kids?
Yeah, I like kids. Like I have been like babysitter. Here it's pretty common to like when you are young to like arubaito. Like it's like a very common like part-time job here. Like to have babysitters here. In Japan, it's not that normal. I think like babysitter, right?
No.
Like here, it's pretty normal to have like your kids stay with the babysitter and the parents go to work.
Yeah.
I used to belong to choir, so in junior high and high and university, I'm a member of the chorus group. And I like musical.
Musical.
And to
Recently,
sing.
what musical do you
But not I like to play musical. But not so often. But so
I also built. Oh, go ahead. I just remembered. I built hurdy-gurdy as well.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah, it's a old French instrument with a crank and a wheel and a keyboard on the side. And it sounds almost like bagpipes, kind of, but it's got a really unique sound. Hurdy-gurdy is probably one of the most famous hurdy-gurdy players, but you know, that's like
is what? How do you spell hurdy-gurdy?
hurdy-gurdy, Hurdy-gurdy.
Hi, okay, welcome back. It is very short time, but I think you enjoyed the conversation. Yeah, and hurdy-gurdy, ごめんな、hurdy-gurdy. You can type in the chat box.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, hurdy-gurdy. Yeah, Gip said that he made it an instrument.
What's the name of the instrument?
What's that?
Yeah.
Well, it's really. Whoa! I saw some photos.
You're creative.
You made this one?
Where is it from?
Originally from France. But it was like a two-person instrument. So
this is interesting. And he said sounds like bagpipe.
sometimes they all kind of sound different, but I've heard some small ones that sound like bagpipes. Those are the ones I like. But
Wow.
and then they also it's a really complicated instrument. It's ridiculous like the stuff that you do with it.
Do you have one with you now?
I have one, but it's out of tune and it takes forever to tune them, and it's not very well put. It's the one I made, and it's not made very well. So
You can do anything.
Yeah.
Anyone can do anything. They just got to do it.
Okay. よし。では、and did you get any questions? 大丈夫かな？Was it okay? Like, よし、じゃあ最後にちょっと写真を撮って終わろうと思います。いつもこれしたいけど、これじゃないんだよね。今スマホだからね。じゃあ、せっかくなので今日はカテリーナがね、ロシアの紹介してくれたから、ロシア語で、1、2、3を言って、まだ覚えられないの、ロシア語の1、2、3。で、カテリーナ、could you type in the chat box? 1, 2, 3, Russian.
Раз, два, три.
Раз, два, три.
Раз,
Раз,
два,
два,
Раз, два, три.
So difficult.
ね、難しい。
Раз,
つないで傘でいきますね。
три.
OK じゃあ皆さん、じゃあロシア語でいきますよ。ワン、ツー、スリー。いきます。じゃあ、カテリーナさんが、OK、カテリーナ、please, lead us. OK?
Раз, два, три.
One, three.
Three,
Два,
два.
три.
はい、チーズ。はい、OK. So thank you so much for joining. いや、今日すごいなんか
Thank you.
面白かった。なんかこの違いがね、difference was really interesting. Thank you. Okay, then thank you so much for joining マミさん、ハレコさん、ネコさん、ゲップさん、ヨシヒサさん、イグナシオさん、カテリーナさん、ユウカさん、チャールさん、Thank you. Everybody have a nice day and have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye
Bye bye.
Thank you.